Hey everybody, Forbidden Exile here, and welcome to a new video. So this is going to be my League Start build for 3.25, as long as GGG doesn't screw with the Pathfinder Ascendancy, which I don't think they will, since they just redid it a few leagues ago. So, Toxic Rain, as you saw in the thumbnail, it's a pretty standard League Start build. It works great. It's super cheap to get going, and the damage scales pretty well. You can invest a decent amount of currency in it over the league, over the first couple weeks of the league, first month of the league, and get the build going really well. I do have some relatively expensive uniques in here. There's no Mage Blood, but there is a Defiance of Destiny, just kind of as a chase item for the build. The rest of it's pretty much crafted, besides Lightning Coil. You can see there in the body armor, which people run in Curation Barrel and goes for next league as long as they don't nerf that. Lightning Coils are pretty abundant. So as always, we'll go through the gear, the gems, the skill tree. We'll go over some of the crafting methods. I do have a video for the bow that I'll link in the description below, and I'll put up when we're talking about the bow of how to craft the bow. I'll also have kind of a written guide for some of the more intricate crafting things in the description as well. So let's get started. All right, so for the gear, this is your standard Toxic Rain bow. This is about as perfect as it gets, minus quality and attack speed. Enchant doesn't really get much better than this. Hitting that tier 1 Hunter mod at the top you see there is super hard. I crafted this one a while ago, and it took me 5 or 6 tries, probably like 20-something divines worth of recrafting it to do it. So endgame version of the bow, obviously. If you hit tier 3, it's going to get you through tier 16 maps pretty easily. So that's it. As I said, I'll put the link to the video up here, and then I'll do the written guide of how to make the bow in case you want to read it that way in the description. Yes, you have +1 socketed gems, chaos damage over time, attack speed, and then you multi-mod plus your level of socketed support gems, and then chaos.multi. For the helmet, I'm playing the standard right now, so obviously the enchant. It's explosive arrow anyways, but enchants don't exist anymore in helmets. So all I did for this one is I did a Shrieking Essence of Loathing just to get some mana reservation, and I literally just spammed them. They're relatively cheap, especially even early in league, because people want to go for Deafening Essence of Loathing to get max mana reservation efficiency. Just spam it until you get some spell suppress. For the quiver, this is a double dot multi-quiver. It's tier 1, tier 3. You can literally just get away with just damage over time or just chaos damage over time multiplier. Just get a broadhead arrow quiver, hunter based. That's it. Spam it with whatever you got. You'll hit chaos damage or damage over time pretty easily. I have some of the League Start specific gear down there in my inventory as well, but just what I'm wearing right now. Use harvest or chaos or alterations, however you want to do it, to get chaos damage or damage over time. The end-to-end game quiver, I'll put a description of how to do that as well. I'll put how to do that as well in the description. For the rings, they're literally just unset rings. I hit them with Deafening Essences of Envy just to get chaos damage on there. This one had fractured attack speed, which was nice. I got lucky and got some damage, recouped his life, which was also super helpful. And then the Elrion's craft on there is very important for mana cost. Non-channeling skills have negative mana cost. You get that by unveiling Elrion's Veiled rings or amulet. Same with this one, Fractured Max Life. I just hit it with a Deafening Essence of Envy. Same thing, Elrion's mana cost. For the body armor, it's Lightning Coil. It just helps with physical damage mitigation. It kind of sucks with the lightning res. Obviously, you lose 60% lightning res. You do have to make that up with Flasks, but it's great body armor, and they should be probably a week or two into the league, relatively cheap. You can get away with just using a tabula or some crafted body armor, just a rare body armor. Defiance of Destiny, as I said, it's in the build. Just, I'm running harder maps. You don't have to use this. You could literally just pretty much use any amulet, try to get one with +1 chaos skills. The gloves, chances to suppress spell damage. It's fractured on there. You don't need fractured. If you can get them, that's great. Just try to get your spell suppression however you can throughout the tree and throughout your gear up to 100%. I crafted these with Zeal Essences because I already had the fracture on there. You don't need to do that. You don't need accuracy. You don't need the veiled AoE area of effect on there. You can just craft it on there. That's fine. Damage while leeching is a little helpful because you are leeching when Rain of Arrows and Toxic Rain do actually hit. But the hits don't actually do the damage. It's the explosions from Toxic Rain. Siege Vise, this one's It's pretty gnarly. I crafted this one. I literally just chaos spammed it and got pretty lucky. Some of the things obviously on there don't really matter, but the flash life recovery rate and T1 chaos res, a little bit of strength, and the flash charges gained is super helpful with the Pathfinder Ascendancy. Just try to get some belt that will fill in the things that you need, whether it's res. Trying to get flash charges gained is super helpful. You want your flasks to be up all the time, and they're pretty close to being up all the time. The chaos res one is a little slower because of the 5.7 seconds, but the rest of them, they do go off. For the boots, same thing. Spell suppression, avoid elemental ailments, try to get a little bit on there through deafening essences of loathing. You can do shrieking essence of loathing if you want, but it's harder to get 100% ailment immune without using period of elements. If you don't want to go that route, then just use period of elements. Don't use malevolence, or don't use grace, one of those, and then you don't have to worry about res as much at all, and you don't have to worry about trying to get elemental ailments on your boots and on the tree as well. For the flasks, Divine Life Flask, just trying to get, recover as much life as quickly as possible. Immunity to corrupted blood and bleeding is pretty much mandatory for that. As I said, Amethyst Flask, try to get at least tier 2, preferably tier 1 of increased effect / reduced duration, because 32% versus 23% or 24% makes a huge difference. How long your flasks are up, right? You can, if you get tier 1 on all these, have 100% uptime on your flasks. You don't have to press them. They're just always going off in the background, as you can see. I got tier 1 evasion on this one. Got a double element bismuth flask, tier 1, tier 3, and then a ruby flask with tier 1 attack speed, and a topaz flask with reduced effective curses. That's flasks, right? User charges full, all quality up to 20%. Very important for the duration, because you want them to last as long as possible to give your ascendancy time to build up the charges on its own without having to worry about killing stuff, which is super helpful for bosses. Now, that's it for the gear. I'll go over this right here, and then we'll go over the gems. So, league starting, you want to try to get a 6-link bow as fast as possible. I don't know where the porcupine card is going to be because they always move them around, but you want to try to farm out the porcupine card. There's only 6, and then you can get a 6-link short bow. Makes it a lot easier to color as well, because you can see here we need 4 green, a blue, and a red. As I said, league start, right? So Hyrie's Bite. So that's what this is right here. This is the vendor recipe to get a Hyrie's Bite, which will do. This is super helpful early game. You get some attack speed, you get res or dex, strength, and intelligence. You get life per enemy hit. You get increased area of effect, which will help with your Toxic Rain early on, and 2 life per enemy hit with attacks as well. Super helpful. Another option is a Silver Branch. You get Socketed Bow Gems, attack speed, some mana per enemy killed. It's just a nice one if you find it. And then Cool Rain, I would say, is probably, it's a pretty good one because of the increased attack speed, right? You're just kicking arrows out super fast, but you do less damage. So that's kind of like a, if you happen to find a Cool Rain, I would say sell it if you don't want to use it. But it is a nice bow if you happen to come across that. So yeah, so for the Hyrie's Bite, you take a rare Onyx Amulet, 1 Orb of Chance, a rain of arrows with at least one quality. So if you have a Gem Cutter's Prism, one of these right here, and you have the other 3 items, just buy a rain of arrows, hit it with 1 Gem Cutter's Prism, and then a Shark Tooth Arrow Quiver. So we'll go over to Lily right here, and we'll sell all 4 of these, and bam, Hyrie's Bite. Super simple. All right, so gems. As I said, there's no Awakened Gems in here. You can use Awakened Gems, and you should eventually. But 2020 Toxic Rain, level 3 Empower. You don't have to use an Empower. You could use damage on full life support. Use Life Tap if you're having mana issues. I would say use Life Tap in the beginning, right? Use Life Tap and some sort of an Enduring Life Flask or something that recovers a lot of life quickly. And then you'll just literally just spam your Life Flask all the time, especially if you're in Petrified Blood, because you're technically on low life, even though your life's full, and you're reserving a little bit of life. So you can just spam your Life Flask over and over and over again, and it will just keep giving you life. So we've got Efficacy, Void Manipulation, which can be Awakened Void Manipulation, Vicious Projectiles, also Awakened version of that, and then Mirage Archer, just for constant uptime on damage. Up here, we got Vitality with Arrogance, so we're reserving 408 life with that. Enduring Cry, linked to Call to Arms. So the body armor, we've got a mana Forge Arrow set up, right? So we got mana Forge Arrows with Culling Strike, with Withering Touch, so you can wither stuff easily. Inspiration just for mana cost, and then Frenzy just for frenzy charges, get more attack speed, and then just Rain of Arrows because it shoots out so many arrows, right? You're kicking out 27 or 26 arrows every time you fire. So all these things are culling, they're hitting Withering Touch. So super helpful. And here it's got Flame Dash. I've been kind of messing around with the boot slot. I might do another Mana Forge arrow setup. I don't really have the mana for it, but I did have Despair in there. So this one's just kind of a utility one over here. For auras, we got Malevolence, level 3 Enlighten. You don't need a level 4. If you have a level 4, it'll obviously help. Petrified Blood, and then Grace. And here, I just got enemies withered by you have negative $2 res. Abyssal, it's pretty useless. I mean, the withered helps a lot, obviously, but I should get some sort of res or stats or attack speed or something on there, but that's what I got in there. And I said for the boots, I've got Inspiration linked to Despair, and then Blood Rage, just for more attack speed. All right, so for the tree, this is a pretty relatively basic setup tree. There's nothing special in here, right? I think I have 2 gems in here. Ancestral Vision is probably the only expensive one in here. This is just for Corrupted Blood, just because Corrupted Blood sucks. And a little bit of stats, right? I need a little bit of intelligence. But yeah, it's pretty standard, right? Just come down here, take life recovery, max life, all the spell suppression nodes that you can get, bows. This one, 20% increased area of effect while wielding a bow is mandatory. You do need that in order to get to 39%. I'll cover that real quick, right? So you got 20%, and then you have, that's 29, and then you need to get 10. So you need to get 10 or 9 on one of these. That just gets you up to 39. That's the optimal number. I don't know why I didn't do the math on that one. Somebody a long time ago did, and 39% is the optimal area of effect to get. As far as additional arrows, if you have that on your build somewhere, nobody knows what that does. But 39%, just remember that. Frenzy charges, kind of low life because it helps our Petrified Blood not go down as far. And then just skill effect duration, damage over time, chaos damage because of our chaos build. Damage with bows, damage over time. Don't even have a jewel in that one, right? Life, more spell suppression. Come up here, take as many spell suppression nodes up here as you need based on your build, based on your gear. Skill effect duration, Corrupted Blood, as I said, life. Skills cost life instead of mana cost will help you a lot. And then as far as the Ancestral Vision goes, this is how the easy way to get 100% ailment immune without using Period of Elements is you get a little bit on your gear. You take this wheel right here, which gives you 4, 8, 12, 20. And then you use Ancestral Vision to where your modifiers to suppress spell damage. You get 50% of that as avoid elemental ailments. So if you get it over 100%, it will give you over 50% chance to avoid elemental ailments. You just got to kind of math that one of how much you need on your gear versus how much spell suppression you need over 100% to get yourself to 100%, right? I'm at 102. As far as the Ascendances goes, it's pretty standard Pathfinder with Chaos, right? Inflict Withered, Chaos damage, all the Flask nodes, utility Flasks. It's pretty standard Pathfinder. So right now with Blood Rage up, everything going, we're looking at about 2.7 million DPS, right? It's Mirage Archers doing 565,000, and then 2.2 million DPS just from Toxic Rain. Pretty decent attack speed, 4.36. As I said, you don't really have to worry about hit chance because the Toxic Rain actually explodes, and that's what kills stuff. Hit chance with Toxic Rain will help with like any kind of gain life on hit, but you have so many arrows going up in the air between that and Rain of Arrows. If you have any sort of life on hit, life leech on hit, 271, right? So every time one of those like 30 something arrows hit something, we get 271 life back. This hit 20,000. It's respectable, I would say. It's not the best, right? You're not going to be able to stand there and tank stuff. You got to run, shoot arrows, let Mirage Archers shoot arrows, and just keep moving. All right, so we're just going to run a quick 8-mod Toxic Sewer map, tier 16. I've just got 3 Essence Scarabs in there, and then Essence Scarab of Ascent to get a higher tier. And we're going to run a full Essence Atlas Tree. No back to basics, obviously, because we need to put essences on there. Map modifiers, the top hat, everything like that, right? You can see it in there. It's just all the essence nodes, really. Just you can see. And you know what? We'll put essence on there as well. Blue altars, that's fine. Might die. Who knows? You can see though, I mean, the overlapping pods and just the explosions from Toxic Rain, you're gaining so much life so fast that get a divine altar in here, which you know, it's 8 mod tier 16 map, right? You don't have to worry about mods avoiding elemental elements, which is a pretty common one in tier 8 mod maps. They like to give you that one for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but just manually cast a spare. Just constantly spam your mana flat or your life flask. That's it, right? It's pretty chill. You gotta smash some buttons though. That's the only thing, right? See, once you hit them with despair, their damage, the damage increases a lot, and they die a significant amount faster. I do know that they in 3.25 they're changing to where you don't have to hit harvest twice. I really hope they do that with essences too, because it's really annoying having to click on those things 3 times. Hero duplication. You can see though, I mean, you just kind of sit there and you really just have to hit your life flask. Curse enemies with despair if they're get a super tanky rare. Oh, I do have map bosses in here. I forgot. Oh no, it's the map. This is the map boss. The bosses are in Toxic Zero. So this guy might take a while. But single targets, you know, it's respectable, I would say. Obviously, if I had Awakened Gems in here, then it would be a significant amount better. But yeah, it's okay. These are also the map boss does have essence mods on it as well, which is why it's taken a little bit longer to die. As you can see there, Essence of Rage, Torment, and Corruption. But they're pretty tanky. Obviously, Defiance of Destiny is making a pretty big difference on here, so I don't expect to try to do this on, you know, just a regular build. You're not going to be able to do 8 mod corrupted maps with the essences on there and everything. But once you get to that point, I mean, you know, you do some serious damage. Just kill this guy and then I'll get out of here. We saw some single target with some pretty juice single target, honestly, with the essence mods on there. Those make those bosses pretty nasty. Well, that was it. Pretty straightforward build. You know, it's been around for a while. It's just such a fun build to league start. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. As I said, I'll put a step-by-step guide of how to craft the bow and the quiver in the description as well. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like. And if you are enjoying the content, please consider subscribing.